And good afternoon, everybody. How is everyone doing today?
Very good.
I was going to say now you don't say anything.
Going fine.
Well, once I start playing on, and then there's always someone in the background. I don't know. You got to tell him to cut the lawn right, or no, make the doctor's appointment a different day. And sometimes I'll just listen, just for entertainment value. All right, enough of that. I'm going to open up with a song just to kind of get. I've been rush. So music is relaxing, so it'll relax me. I'm going to play now. This book, by the way, is called the Fletcher All-Star Faves. Now, don't ask about it yet. I'll mention this in a minute.
Okay.
Some of these songs are in other books, but this particular one was one of the Song of the Months I did about 2, 3, maybe 4 months ago or so. And so I'm going to use the setups that I had on here. And here we go. Oops, no intro. I wanted to do it without intro. Take two. I'm noticing on my YouTubes I have a lot of take twos. credit transposing the key of F. And that's what applause sounds like in the key of F. You ready for this? All right, there you go. Got bacon, anybody? Okay. All right, so I got a couple things I want to talk about today. One, I want to do a very small recap on what I did a couple weeks ago before the hurricane. And it's really because I made a little boo-boo. It wasn't a big major boo-boo, a small one. But I just want to clarify what happened. So if this happens to you, you'll know why, okay? And then I've got another topic that I'm going to discuss today. Before I do that, normally I like to do announcements at the end, what have you. Today I'm going to do it now, get it out of the way, and then kind of do the class from there. So first thing I want to tell you is these books, some of you, I've had various emails, phone calls. I've had several things that you've seen me play. And let's see here. Now, some of you are familiar with, I do the Song of the Month every month. So sometimes I'll rep out this book. And this one has like about 24 songs that I did on the Song of the Months. And it has songs like Can't Help Falling in Love, Circle of Life, Georgia Mile, all the songs that I did for 2 years. Okay, and then back a couple months ago, I want to say a couple months ago or so, I didn't really promote this online too much. What I did is I had the staff members each put together presets for some of the songs that they played, and they recorded them. And then I included some of my Song of the Month here, plus some that aren't in this book as well. And so this one has 20 songs, and I'll show you the list in a minute. And then there's this one that I did promote several months back or what have you. This was what I call the Lowrey Virtual Orchestra Greatest Hits books. This has 37 songs. And I know some of you, looking at your names, I know some of you ordered it, had it before. This has 37 songs, and each one has 11 setups. So what I'm going to be promoting here, starting in the next day or two, is, let's see if I put the right thing up here on the screen. Bear with me. Bear with me. Bear with me. Computers. All right, so what you're going to see here, if I can select the right thing here, I almost feel, I haven't done Zoom so long, it feels like I don't know how to do it anymore. Oh, here we go. Share. Okay, so if you're looking at this, this is something that I put up on our website a few times. The Song of the Month, each one of these has songs, custom arrangements. Like when I do the Song of the Month, as you know, I do a custom arrangement for all of the songs, and I put where the presets are to be played, similar to some of the other artists. And here's a list of all of the songs in this package. Because of the work that I put into it, I do value this thing. Actually, I was originally going to say it was worth more than this, but I had to tame myself. This actually has 24, not 22, 24 custom arrangements. It has some of the instruction materials that I've done along the way. It has all of the presets to play the songs, and all of the songs have been recorded, so using the presets. This is also, you'll see where the instruments that it's compatible for. It's not all of the models. This date that says the 18th is going to change because I just finalized this flyer. So when I put it on the out on the internet or an email, what have you, this date will have a little better a date to work with, okay? Because that's only a couple days away. That's going to be 20% off if you order by a certain date. The Greatest Hits arrangements, same concept, done by a different artist. There's 37 songs. Now, these songs don't have a specific order in how the songs are, how the presets are used. They're designed to use them in any order, okay? And this one here is kind of interesting because we're actually packaging this one for only $175. That's a total of 407 presets. There are 11 setups for every song, 37 recordings. of each of the songs. And again, there's specific models that it's for. And again, this date is going to change. I'll probably put that to 20, if I promote it tomorrow, I'll give a week or something like that, okay? And then the third one that I mentioned has all your Fletcher stars on here. Some of you may know Joe Bowen. He's actually a gifted musician. So he's got several songs in here. Carrie Price, you all know, Don, Joe Fontesha, myself, and Todd Stapleton, which you guys will see very soon online. He's actually been with us. He's back with us now. And this has 20 songs. They all have the presets, the song recordings, and again, the same thing. Now, if someone doesn't have any of these packages, what I'm going to do is offer the entire package for 40% off. Okay? So be on the lookout for those emails. If you have any questions about them, shoot me an email and I can tell you more about them. Okay? So that's number one. Number two, I do want to share this with you. Actually, I'll get back to this a little bit later. Every one of these songs, by the way, will have the song, every one of these packages will have the songbook included. Now, I do recognize that there are some folks from, out of the country, and right now mainly Canada and UK. So I have to generate a special link just for those people. Okay. And I got one more thing that I'm going to share, but in a little bit. Let me do one thing, touch on what I did a couple weeks ago. So a couple weeks ago, I got to remember which order I put that in. I talked about loading song presets, and I thought I had a bad USB. Well, the reason is, and if you haven't seen that class, you might want to go back, because I'm only going to touch on it in this moment. The reason is I kept trying to load presets because I thought I put actually some presets, and it was the holiday music camp songs that we did in the last 2 years. We all recorded songs in the last 2 years. There were like 34 songs, all right? From Silent Night to White Christmas to Little Drummer Boy, all of the Fletcher artists recorded songs. It's great USB. And what I said was, what's cool about that USB is it has all these wonderful songs, but none of us put presets on there. And what I mentioned was you could acquire those presets by using the feature code load song presets versus load presets. So I have the USB in here, and let me switch to the camera up on the TV up here so you can see this. So what happened is I put USB, let's make sure that it recognizes that it's in there, and I pressed load presets, and it gave me that error. And I thought, I got a bad USB, and I kept trying and trying. What I realized is I didn't have any presets to be able to show that to you. Well, after the class was done, I went back and just poked around and went, oh, no wonder. This was the point of the class. So if you touch load song presets, what you're going to see, there's 34 song titles or 5 or something like that. So it's going to take a couple seconds. Okay, so you can see Melikalika Maka, We Wish You Merry Christmas. And if you scroll through, these were all the songs that were recorded by Don, Carrie, myself, Joni, et cetera, et cetera. And so if you have all of these songs recorded on there and you'd like to get the presets that they used, all you have to do is use the load song presets option. And then what happens is, let's see, let me go to, I got to do this fast so I don't get dizzy here. I'm upside down. Let's see. Silver Bells. Oh, that's a nice one. Sleigh Ride. Where is the one I was looking for? Oh, what child is this? You just check, that's the one of the ones I did. And then I hit all. And then now you have a way of accessing those presets. Okay? So just a little clarification, but it's good to have a little, and then you play the song, and I won't do that now, but All right. Speaking of which, holiday music camp. By Monday, change the camera here. By Monday, be on the lookout on the emails. We are going to do our third annual holiday music camp, and we're going to do this both ways. For those who have a store locally, we're going to host them. Each of the stores is going to have them in store. And if you can't come locally, we're going to also put it online. So all of us, from me, Joe Fontesha didn't get to do it last year because of some scheduling conflicts, so he's going to be a part of it this year. Joni, Carrie, Don, and we're going to have Todd Stapleton as part of the lineup this year. And we got a really great package put together. And what we're planning on doing is we want to do this music camp in middle of November. So you get all of the tips and tricks for holiday music when you have time to use it and put it to use, right? So that way when you're playing full gear, playing all your holiday Christmas tunes, what have you, you'll have everything you need. So we're going to record. It's going to be a great thing. So just keep an eye out for that. So I should have that flyer done by hopefully Monday, maybe sooner. All right. One more announcement I'll do a little bit later. But what I want to touch on right now is a topic that I might have done a few times. But what I've noticed since June is I've had a lot of people that I met that acquired a Stardust from somewhere, or acquired a Royale, or I just got a Prestige. I'll see it in a Facebook organ group. Look what I just got. I got a Lowrey Marquee and all these. And some of the people are just finding out about some of these classes. So I always think it's good to kind of review a topic that I might have done in case they haven't seen it. And hopefully it'll be something of benefit to you. So if you can get one thing out of today. And the thing that I want to touch on is something that you probably use, and hopefully I can teach you something a little bit different about it. And that is, there's many things associated with presets or category presets, and even song setups. Okay? First thing I want to talk about, song setup is pretty much a given for most people, but there's one little small, tiny little thing that I want to remind people in case you're not aware of this. When you're using song setup, right now I have the organ. Put this USB, I better not lose it. I'm going to pick just a big band rhythm. It's on Satin Lady. I have my rhythm preset style rhythm preset on. Okay? So song setup is a great feature, as many of you know. It's a great way to get an idea of a song if it happens to exist in the list. All right? But sometimes they spark other ideas. A lot of times I'll use a song setup for one song and play a totally different song with it. But when you use song setup, as a reminder, for those of you who don't know this, maybe you're new to using song setups. Let me put the camera on the top here. Oh, I got the wrong camera, sorry. That doesn't look good. How's that? Okay. So you have your song setup. That's not it on the list. Let me see if I got my... Okay. So right now I'm on my left screen, but if you only have one screen on your instrument, that's what it looks like. And when you press the song setup button, obviously it comes up in alphabetical. All right? Now I'm going to go back. And I've had this question, does this feature apply to mine? Does this feature apply to mine? As you know, somewhere along the line, one of the Lowrey organs started to give you the ability to find a song setup alphabetically. That started on an organ called the Lowrey Palladium. It's a history lesson for you. Take notes, because I'm going to pop quiz you. And you have to get the answers right. Even if you don't have a Palladium, you got to know this answer. And if you get the answer right, I'll give you a virtual lollipop that lasts for years. Okay, so anyway, started on the Palladium and then inevitably was on the Prestige and also on the Lowrey Legend when the A platform came out, and then every A model after that, and then eventually on the E and the EX. And then on the Aria, they made it just a little bit easier by using a different keyboard. But to find a song setup, you touch the keypad button down on the left right bottom keyboard there, or the screen rather. And when you touch that, you get this, and if you touch the alphabet number button, you get the letters, A, B, C, D, E, F, et cetera, et cetera. So if I want a song title like Mr. Sandman, you would go to the button that has the M, all right? Or if you want a song title, Oh, What a Beautiful Morning, you just touch it again until you get the letter O on it. But if I want back to Mr. Sandman, touch it again. And then on the bottom left, you touch the song setup. If you're looking for a rhythm style alphabetically, you touch the button on the bottom right for style list, okay? Now I'm going to touch song setup, and you'll see there it brings me to the M's, and then just saves you time from scrolling, and then you can scroll to within the M's, and what was I looking for? Mr. Sandman, okay, and then you just touch it, obviously. Or if you want to go through the process of scrolling through, yes, you can take the time to do it until you get to whatever one you want. But that's a little bit long-winded. So anyway, now when you touch a song setup, what happens? Again, if you know this, great. If you don't, make note. What happens is your rhythm preset or your style setup, if it was on at that moment, will deactivate. And the question I get is why? Well, because song setup in itself is essentially a preset. It's a separate preset altogether. So if I push Mr. Sandman as the song setup to set up the intro for me, it's setting up an entirely different setup altogether. However, if you're playing along with the setup that it gives you, okay, and you want a different sound, you can always go back to the rhythm preset because while you're playing, you're on that rhythm. So we'll just use the song setup that it gives me. Okay, and then you can play and play and play, and you know, you got your setups and what have you. But if you want more setups with that, we'll talk about category setups. We'll get to that in a minute. But then you can revert to your either rhythm presets or your style setups, as long as you're still on that preset. Be careful with going to your A bank or your B bank, because if you happen to have something else programmed in there, like I currently do, I have my setups for my girl, well, then it's going to jump presets on me. Again, so if I'm on that, playing along, if I put on rhythm preset, then you can jump to any preset thereafter. So just keep that in mind. So you have technically more setups that you can choose from. Initially, start off with a song setup and then go through and what have you. Okay? Now, category presets or category setups. This is a feature that I know a lot of people use, and I think you should use them and you should go through them and discover things, because sometimes you'll find things in here that you might not have known that was in there if you didn't activate it. So I'll get to one of the pages in a minute. So I'll switch the screen here, but in a minute. But right here on the dashboard, many of you that have category presets, even on the smaller models, they have groups here. I think some of the smaller models have Latin and big band. And then when you get into some of the higher touchscreen models, even like the Rhapsody has 3 or 4 of these here. You get into Royale, Stardust, and organs thereafter. Most of them have theater, country, big band, show, Latin, and then your more button, okay? When you use these, obviously they give you the sounds that go to that style of music. However, as I say many times, you don't have to play the style of music for the category preset that you're using. So for example, if I put on the big band category, obviously I'm going to get a lot of sounds that go along with big band music. So let me just put up the screen here. And I got to hire a cameraman, I tell you. Might have to give you some extra cookies to switch my camera. All right, so if you look at the screen, here's the big band category. Now, some of the models don't have, it may show you the sound that's just on the upper keyboard. And then somewhere along the lines, I believe it was the Palladium actually and the Prestige, is where they started giving you the sound that was assigned to the top and the bottom. So on this one here, it says trombone / muted trumpet. So trombone is on the top, muted trumpet is on the lower right keyboard, breathy sax. So, you know, these sounds without a rhythm. Great sound. And most people think, oh, those are going to be great for big band tunes. And I could put on a big rhythm here. And so they're all going to work with swing and big band and what have you. But I like this category. Sometimes I'll do something like this. I'll pick something like, there we go, Tito's Big Band, okay? But I'm going to use the big band category with a Latin style. Thank you. Hold the applause. Please stay seated. Stay seated. Oh, she hasn't stood up. All right. So, you know, there again, that was the big band category. Anybody know what song I played? What was it? Close. Cherry Pink and Apple Blossom White. The first one I played, some people don't recognize that melody. I love the melody. It's called Miami Beach Rumba. So if you have Miami Beach Rumba, that was the first one I started to play. Okay. I play that a lot, and people, I don't know that one. I love playing that song. Anyway, enough of that. So, a little history lesson for you. Put you back up on the screen here. All right, so I have the 4 categories listed on here. When I push the more, you'll see scared or sacred. I I guess if you look at it wrong. Well, I could be scared. Ooh, it's Halloween coming around the corner. All right, you got sacred, bells, jazz, nostalgic. So basically, when the Royale was introduced, it had sacred, modern, jazz, brass. Okay? Then after that, the Stardust was introduced, and it added bells, holiday, nostalgic, and lush. And there's some great categories in there. Sacred, obviously, for church music and songs of hymns and things like that. Bells was great. I'll just give you a little taste. When I put that up, you have some really pretty. And then if you go to nostalgic, it had a lot of the great artists of our time, Harry and Benny. Awesome organ was actually the signature sound that Dennis Awe, when he came back on board with Lowrey, or back on board, should I say. The Stradivarius and etc. Lombardo saxes. Lush is a category. I used to think when I saw Lush on the screen, I thought, oh, there's a category of presets for the drinkers. No extra charge, folks, no extra charge. Someone is typing, I want a refund. No refunds either. Okay, all right, let's see here. All right, so Lush category is great, and I think they named it because they gave us some really great luscious sounds. All right, and if you go to the next page at the bottom there, you notice on the left side there are 4 groups wrapped around actually organ sounds. And these are actually pretty nice depending on how you use them. And many of the organs actually have a feature called the tibia, the jazz. Let me pull it up on the screen real quick. You'll notice it says Lowrey, which is the Lowrey organ setting, the tibia, which is very common in some of the Wurlitzer organs way back in its day. Jazz is the effect that when you're using the flute tabs, it gives you the effect, the tremolo, similar to that of the Hammond organs. Hammond organ was known for the Leslie speaker, so that the tremolo mimicked that. Smooth took the flute settings and did exactly that. It was a little bit different on the tremolo, and from what Bill told me, if I remember correctly, it was similar to the Lowrey organ tones back in the 80s, if I'm not mistaken. Diapason is a totally different. Those are like the big wooden pipes. Gives you a totally different effect. And a string effect takes the flute sounds and gives it the string effect that the theater organs had years ago. And so coming back to here, so when you use these, like the harmony organ does that, just that. When you play those, you get these beautiful one-finger harmonies. I'm going to leave the screen up there. Right now I'm doing just one note on the right hand. You can't see that, but I want you to see. I know that melody, but I forgot the name of the song. Anybody tell me what song that is? All right, figure it out. I'll play it again in a minute.
I don't know why I love you so.
What's that?
I don't know why I love you so.
Well, I know why you love me. Boy, I set you up for that one, did I? No.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's I don't know why I love you, I just do. I
Yes,
don't know why I love you like I do. I don't know why I just do it.
I
Such a
just
beautiful.
do.
But I use the harmony one for that. Sometimes I'll put the smooth flutes on, and it'll automatically trigger the smooth flute on the organ for you automatically. And there's some really gorgeous presets in here. Now, take a look at the screen there. You'll see that on the top keyboard it says smooth. They all start with the word smooth. Okay? And basically all of these presets on the upper keyboard are traditional organ settings. Okay? Robert, I don't use the organ sound that much. I like them. They're pretty. But if you look on the bottom right keyboard, there's all sorts of other setups, from horns to piano and strings. The BLCK means block harmony type sound. Saxophones, electric pianos. You could just use this category and play the bottom right keyboard. Let me just pick a few that I think I might like. I'm playing the lower right keyboard right now. Let's see what this one does. Ooh, I actually like that. Never played that. So you have presets there that if you normally don't use, take a peek and see what's down at the bottom, the diapason. I've played this category several times, many times over the years, and I don't use it a lot, but when I do, I play songs like this, and people always come up and go, how did you get that beautiful sound? And this is how. And then a lot of times I'll throw this sound into the virtuoso. So what I'll do is I'll take and put on the virtuoso, and I'll say whatever sounds on the upper keyboard. You see what I just did there? Okay, now I'm going to go back to my screen. So my virtuoso, now you can't see it, but I'm going to use it. Actually, let me just switch the camera for you. I'll go through the trouble. I'll risk falling off the bench. So what I did is I put the virtual to upper. So that means whatever sound is here will go in here. And then what I'll do is I'll change it, and I'll put the virtuoso for whatever sound is here in here. And listen what happens. Now I'm going to take this sound. I'm going to say I want whatever's in the lower right to go here. The harmony will also go there. We're going to have a lot of fun with that. Now, moving right along. So let's see. And there's a bunch more. You got around the world. Those are lots of instruments from around the world, from lutes to French accordion, Spanish guitars. You can see that they really hit a lot of the continents. Percussion is basically sounds that you, now a lot of people confuse this. They think, oh, it's just going to be drums. They're not. They're instruments that are percussive in nature. For example, electric piano, vibes, those are percussion type sounds because the sound has got a strike effect. Here's one that I actually stole. You see it says sound effects. When I did my arrangement for Theme from Ice Castles, I stole presets number 4 and number 9 off of this list. Because people thought sound effects, I'm just going to use them for funny sounds. Now, granted, there are some in there. You have yes. so you got those that, you know, puts a smile on your face. You get a kick out of it. Pipe organ and scary and so forth. But when I originally put an arrangement together for Theme for My Ice Castles, this was the beginning. I took this and then I just tweaked it. I used that, and then I went in and I tweaked it to the way I wanted it. And at the very end of the song, I used this one. That percussion is a rolling timpani on the bottom. So there's a lot of things in these presets you can discover. When you go to the next page, what you're looking at here is a slightly tweaked page, because this is the Symphony. It used to be A, B, C, D, and E, and Bill Curry took some categories from a different model, put show tunes of love songs. So that's the little difference there. When the Sterling was introduced in the Imperial, you had A, B, C, D, E, and then Theater 2, Theater 3, UK, Theater added some new theater categories. The finales and the theaters were produced, if I'm not mistaken, designed by someone by the name of Jim Vogelman. I don't know if you ever had a chance to hear Jim Vogelman, a fine musician. I can't even say it any simpler than that. And then when you get into your Lowrey Patriot, they added openers, strings, and crescendo organ. And then, well, I'll just give you a little taste of some of these. Openers were sounds that you typically find in if you wanted to open up with some songs and what have you. But I love sounds like this Celtic Woman. Taps, most people associate taps with you know, there's a lot of that going around right now, and it's very depressing. But when Jim designed that sound, that horn sound, he actually gave it sustain and a lot of reverb so the sound carries. And watch when I hit the note, or listen. And the idea is that you play it, and then when you're playing with a simple chord or what have you, you don't have to play that song. I do something like this. So you can really have some fun with that. Actually, I used that as one of my settings in when I played Autumn Leaves. I used that horn sound. Crescendo organ's really cool. I won't play them, but I'll show you. Basically, from 0 to 10, the softest church organ sound, and as you go, they gradually get stronger. I can go on. I might have to use that someday. Strings, sometimes I'll do a little bit of the, well, something like this. Take a little cello there. Cello with an exclamation point. That must be for a reason. So you'll see a little cello, there's bassoon, and let's see here. I will use cello, number 6, strings, and number 4, and then number 7. I really should get 2 cameras so I can record both of these, but some of these sounds, the cellos, I like to do stuff like. Not using a rhythm, so you could hear the sounds, but you can put on any rhythm with you want. bassoon I never used until I had a reason to. Or pizzicato. Wait, that's the wrong theme. What was that movie with the guy with the knife in the hotel? Bates? No, that's too that. Listen to this choir and orchestral strings that you saw. I got carried away there, but all right. And I didn't forget you EX people. I don't have it here, but I did prepare it on the screen. Let's see if I pull up the right one. Okay, so for you Marquee owners, so I got the right screen up. Where is it? Do you see there it says bells, jazz? Am I on the right page? Connie, do you see that on your screen? Or Fred or anybody? Do you see where it says jazz there? Okay. All right. So on this page here, on the Marquee, by the way, this is an additional page that was put on from Cascades. I'll demonstrate this when I have a Marquee coming into the store pretty soon. Jazz organ, virtual orchestra with some new presets, pop organ sounds pretty. I'll have to showcase it when I have it hooked up. Cascades, key glides. And then on the Grand Marquee, you have Dimension, New Pipes Dimension 2, Lenny's Best. And then on the Aria, if I do this right, do you see Dimension 3 and 4? Yes?
No.
No? I have to screen share it, stop it. I had two up on the same time, so give me a second. Let me do this again. One more time. All right, how about now?
Yep.
Dimension 3, Dimension 4, Orchestrator 1, Orchestrator 2. Okay? So what's the point of this? I don't know what the point was. I lost track. I got so carried away, I forgot what my whole point was. The point is, if you have the category presets, use them. And if you have categories that you don't use, once in a while I fall into that trap. Like there was one called, I think, Pop Organ. On the Marquee or I think it was the Marquee and the Grand Marquee. I never really used those, not because I don't have the instrument here, but even when I do, I don't tend to go there. One day I went through there and I started playing them, and then I started playing the sounds on the lower right, and I discovered some more sounds and settings that I never would have used if I didn't go there. So poke around, because you get some, don't. I guess my encouragement is don't avoid preset category presets because it's a category that you may not particularly use, especially the way it's labeled. You know, for example, the church organs there, I forgot what were they called? Crescendo organ. A lot of times people think they go, oh, well, I'm just going to play hymns. Maybe I'm not in the mood to play a hymn. But I played Phantom of the Opera, and it was work. It was nice. So you can use these categories for a lot of things. And last but not least, before I do, let's see, how did you get the info for the presets under the different category? Is that you, Charlene? Can you, I'm not quite sure I understand the question fully.
when you check, when you get your category presets, then you bring up what's underneath that category preset for
Yeah,
your.
what I do is I pick the category that I want, like I showed you here.
Yes.
And let me go back to, go to this, well, before I do that. So let me just put on strings. And then I use the custom button over here.
Oh, okay. All right.
Now, it's on custom for most organs. If you have 4 or 5 custom buttons, it's custom number 4 that tells you what the presets are.
Okay.
If you have like a Rialto and Inspire, I think they have 3. I think it's number 3.
Okay. Okay.
And then some of the models had 2. So it's one of those, and it brings up what's called the preset information.
Okay.
Now, for some reason, it's not there. Do a total reset. It'll put it in there because preset information is in the screen. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. One last announcement I'm going to leave you with. And what I'm going to tell you is, as you know, you Floridians, you guys had some hurricanes there. I wouldn't call that fun, right, Connie? Wouldn't call that fun at all.
Nope.
So tomorrow morning, you guys are going to see a flyer like this. And the unfortunate part of a hurricane, there was 2 of them almost back to back, is it really does a number on our stores out there. We're shut down for more than the time that it actually hits. So we're going to do something. We're going to turn we're going to make lemon out of lemonade. And you guys are going to see in an email, you're going to basically see a flyer that says, "Attention all Fletcher Music Club members and friends. The storms of the century are over, hopefully. The sale of the century begins." And what we're doing is, and actually you're hearing it before the staff members. I'm going to have a Zoom call tonight to explain this to them. We must sell 35 organs by October 31st. And as you can see in the print there, it says the 2 back-to-back hurricanes that battered Florida created huge issues for everyone, including small businesses like ours. We think there's no better way to recover than music. In order for Fletcher Music Centers to catch up on lost revenue due to these storms, we are challenging ourselves to sell 35 organs by the end of October. This is truly a sale of a century, and we're pulling out all the stops to make it happen. To take advantage of this credible offer during the sale, let the magic of music help us recover. And then we have a real nice incentive here that says register to win a grandfather clock. You can just come on in and participate in whatever they're doing in the store there, and then we're going to draw a winner. We have some really amazing specials from 1-year interest-free. All music books are going to be 50% off. We're going to increase trade values by 125%. We have organs like Royales and Stardust, only $999 and $19.99. It's great for a friend. And we're determined to reach our goal, so no reasonable offer will be refused. By the way, the software package that you saw earlier, up to 40% off, so stay tuned in on that. So we are going to do some really special incentives. So if you've ever thought, boy, now's a good time, or I was always considering my next model, we have some fabulous incentives. Maybe you have a church that doesn't have an organ. Buy a Royale. My point is, go out and buy stuff. Okay? So I want to say, stay safe. Thank you. Keep playing music every day. And buy something. Stay safe. Keep playing music every day. Go out and buy something. And we'll see you real soon. Oh, everybody, take a big round of applause for me. Yay! Okay.